The cuts now officially have happened. Let's look at who's available, who the Dolphins in my mind should be interested in, and I'm going to try to explain to you better about the whole waiver claim process. What is up, Finn fans? So yes, today, the cuts happened yesterday, 4 o'clock. So today what I want to do is kind of give you guys an idea of the claim process, who's available for the claim process, and all of that good stuff. Also, I'm going to give you guys an update on kind of who the Dolphins have when it comes to IR and stuff like that, and some updates on all of that good stuff. So first, I got to shout out today's sponsor. You guys know about them. Love working with them. Love being sponsored by them. And that is Clean the World. Sean Seipler Company. Fantastic guy. Came together, decided, hey, you know what? Soap is being wasted in these hotels. I'm going to repurpose it, and I'm going to help people that need it. So essentially, he put these kits together. And that helps people in third world countries, natural disasters like Hawaii, like California. And he gets them these kits. It has toothpaste, it has a bar soap, it has shampoo, it has a toothbrush, pair of socks, and you can leave a note saying, hey man, you're going to get through this. We're here for you. All that good stuff. He's actually starting to put kits together that you can do. The link will be in the description. Check it out. Support him if you can. And Sean, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Also, real quick, I know that the hurricane is either hit Florida right now or has hit Florida. I hope everyone who is in the path of this hurricane is okay, and everything's all right with your property and your family members and all that stuff. My thoughts go out to you guys. Stay safe with this hurricane. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on. So yesterday, Barry Jackson said, so per Dolphins announcement and league rules, Crossan and Sorbert cannot be taken off IR and play for the Miami Dolphins this season, except under one complicated injury settlement scenario. Jalen Ramsey, Eric Campbell, and Robert Jones can be moved to the IR tomorrow and play for the Dolphins later this year. By releasing veteran Dolphins Justin Bethel and Deshaun Hand, Miami can't re-sign them when they're healthy with no restrictions if they choose to, unlike Sorbert and Chosen, who were IR'd before the 53 was set, thus essentially shelving them for the year. So essentially what Barry Jackson is talking about, Sorbert and Crossan, Keon Crossan, are, I probably was saying Chosen, but I meant Crossan if I was, have been put on the IR. They're done for the year. Now, Justin Bethel and Deshaun Hand were cut, so they can be brought back. But the reason why some of the moves happened that you were like, huh, I'm surprised they cut them, or, huh, you know, I thought they'd keep them, is because Jalen Ramsey, Eric Campbell, and Robert Jones are going to be put on IR today. I was going to say tomorrow because I'm recording today. And by doing that, the Miami Dolphins don't have to shelve them for the year. Essentially, if you're put on IR after the cut period, I think today, after noon or 3 o'clock, I'll get to that, you can now, it's the 8 week. And you can come back after 8 weeks. So they want to do that for Jalen Ramsey, Campbell, and for Robert Jones, so they can come back, especially Jalen Ramsey. Whereas Nick Needham stayed on the PUP, which means he's out for the first 4 weeks, giving him time to come back. Also, I'm hearing Robert Jones. That's who I was saying. What am I talking about? I'm losing it. It's a late night, and I have a lot that I want to tell you guys, so I have like 500 things running through my head. But that's kind of the update on today when it comes to like, hey, why was this guy cut? I thought they would keep him. Or why wasn't this guy cut? You know, blah, blah, blah. That's why. Is they had to keep room for all that stuff. So now let me break down the waiver claim process, and then we'll get into the top 30 best available and kind of see where the Dolphins could possibly claim somebody in that aspect. So a waived player can be claimed by any team, any other team looking for more talent. For roster cutdowns, any player waived from Thursday to Tuesday's deadline, so from last Thursday to yesterday, remains on the waiver until Wednesday at noon. Today at noon. This video is going to come out at 9, so in like 3 hours. During that time, teams will submit waiver claims expressing their interest in specific players. At the end of the claim period, again, noon today, the team with the highest waiver priority is awarded that player and his current contract. So, with that being said, I'm just looking up where the Dolphins are 21-ish. So, yeah, around 21. Because it was forfeited. So it was in between 20 and 21. So I'd say 21 is where we're picking. So essentially what that means, right? So the Dolphins have probably put a ton of waiver claims in for, the past couple of days when they're noticing, hey, these guys are available. Say the Dolphins put a waiver claim in for a cornerback, right? And say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are waiver claim number 19, put a waiver claim in for the same corner. They get that corner. Whoever's in front of the Dolphins at 21, if they put the waiver claim in for the same player as the Dolphins, they get that player. The Dolphins don't. So it's probably going to be hard for the Dolphins to claim some of these players that have been cut because of how low they are. Because it's the Dolphins, Chargers, Ravens, Vikings, Giants, Bills, Cowboys, Jaguars, Bengals, Saints, Eagles, Chiefs. That's the order. So the Chiefs aren't going to get anyone unless nobody wants them and they fall through. But like, again, if the Dolphins want to claim somebody and the Chargers want them as well, the Dolphins will get them because they're ahead. Does that make any sense? So that being said, I'm going to now look at available free agents. Now, some of these free agents can just be signed right off the bat. Some of them can't because they were cut the past couple of days. So, like, if you look at the list, number one on there is Kareem Hunt. He could be signed whenever. Same thing with Jarvis Landry, Leonard Fournette. They can be signed whenever. But, like, Bailey Zappi, right? He was cut. So, say the Dolphins are like, hey, we want a better backup. Bailey Zappi is a guy that they can be brought in. But I see Ben Jones here as a center, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins, we have $17 million in cap space. I know one of you guys asked me about that. We have about $17 million in cap space. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to bring him in, have depth at the center position. He is up there in age at 34, but bring him in on that 1-year deal. But like, you look at some of the guys that were cut, like Desmond King, right? A veteran corner cut at the deadline by a rebuilding Houston team. King will be one of the most sought after defensive free agents on the market. Now, the Dolphins could put a waiver claim in for him. But again, they got to hope he falls to 21 now, or the teams ahead of him, like, hey, we're in a different mode. We don't need that that veteran corner, and he does fall the Dolphins and they get him. That'd be great. But that's a situation that I would be interested in. And right behind him at 14 is Bryce Callahan. The Dolphins did bring him in for an interview. Nothing really came of that. But like, I'm looking at a lot of these cuts. Akeem Hicks is still out there. That's a sign that you don't have to wait for waiver claims on that. There's some people out there that I'm just surprised, or not really surprised, but I'm just like, I don't really see the Dolphins making a move. I think what they're more waiting to do is kind of wait for what they're going to do with their own guys, right? Like, I'm looking right now at the team by team. Melvin Gordon was cut by the Baltimore Ravens, and, the Dolphins keep saying that they're good with the running back room, but they constantly are going five times? Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, supposedly. That's not, whatever. And now Jonathan Taylor. 5 different running backs they went after. Now, Melvin Gordon's out there. I wouldn't try to claim Melvin Gordon. The guys we have on the team are better than Melvin Gordon. But like David Quessenberry from Buffalo, maybe some depth there on that one. Eric Rowe was cut by the Carolina Panthers. Why not bring him back? They do need some help at safety, especially with Jones potentially going on the IR there. Jabril Cox, linebacker. Could see that, linebacker depth. They did try to bring in a linebacker late. Like I said, Desmond King. I'm just looking at the list of each team, and none of them. Danny Shelton, defensive line. He was cut by the Chiefs. But, like, if you're cut by the Chiefs, who have Chris Jones holding out, it doesn't seem good for you anyway. I just saw the Dolphins. I was like, oh, look. Yeah, there's no one really who got cut. The fact that I would just want to bring something up real quick. New England Patriots. They cut Trace McSorley, Bailey Zappi, and Malik Cunningham. That means that the only quarterback on their team right now is Mac Jones. They must have a ton of faith in Mac Jones. New Orleans Saints, Jalen Smith. Claim him. Why not? See how that goes. James Robinson from the New York Giants. But again, unless it's a top-notch player like Jonathan Taylor, it makes no sense to go after a running back. But those are only the names that are popping out at me that I could think of that the Dolphins could possibly go after. Yeah, they released their roster and what it looks like. But a lot of tinkering is going to happen, especially at the bottom part of the roster. Dolphins are still probably maybe trying to make some trades. They probably have been trying to trade Emmanuel Ogbah. That's a lot of money coming off the cap. Again, the Dolphins are at $17 million. If they can trade Emmanuel Ogbah right now, that's like another. They're at 17 now. That's another 16. They'd be sitting at $33 million in cap space that they can bring over to next year. This is what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of people look at our cap space and go, "Oh, we're negative what 38 or so million or negative 30 whatever in cap space next year." We're at 17 right now from the trade and from restructuring Cedric Wilson Jr. You trade Emmanuel Ogbah, you're pretty much in the gold. You're at like 1 million in the plus, but all of a sudden you're not in cap hell, and then you can decide what you want to do with certain players. But I made a whole video about that. I think that was yesterday's video or so. You can go check out that whole video where the Dolphins can, by moving on from 4 different players, save about $50 million in cap space and be about $20 million in the green to do what they need to do without 4 players. You could very easily replace those 4 players with the draft, with free agency, all that stuff. So go check that video out. But comment below. Let me know what you think. Are there guys that you noticed that was cut that you would like the Dolphins to try to claim? And do you think they'd be there at 21 in the waiver claim process? Comment below. I will let you guys know afternoon-ish. If anything happens. If there's a bunch of things that happen, I will let you know. I'm gonna make a full video on that. But again, just want to give you an update on all that stuff and make this video for you. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you either later today or definitely tomorrow. Like I said, I got so much content for you. It's not even funny, but like usual, stay classy. And Vince out.